Welcome to South Coast Radio, and today we are joined by a very talented South African vocalist, entrepreneur, and inspirational artist whose journey is all about music, people, strength, and purpose. She's affectionately known as the Pearl of Pal, and with a musical background spanning classical, contemporary, jazz, gospel, Afrikaans, and popular music, she is certainly no stranger to versatility. She is also the founder of Chupa Productions, where she works to empower communities, develop talent, and create opportunities through music and collaboration. And today we're talking about her latest single, a powerful song of resilience, healing, and strength called A Woman Unbroken. So let's welcome to the show Loren Erasmus. Welcome to South Coast Radio. It's wonderful to have you with us.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm really excited to be on air.
Awesome, Lauren. It's really great to have you with us today. So let's start at the beginning. Can you tell us a little bit about your journey with music and when you first realized that singing was something you wanted to pursue seriously?
Music has always been part of who I am. And singing for me was never just about performing a song. It was always about emotion, connection, and telling a story. And over the years, music has taken me to some incredible places, and from cruise ships and festivals to corporate events and community celebrations. But I think the biggest realization for me was that this is more than something I do. It is really something I'm meant to do. And for every experience, every stage, and every season of my life has shaped me into the artist that I am today.
Awesome, Lauren. Now, you've worked across so many different genres from classical and jazz to gospel, Afrikaans, and contemporary music. What do you enjoy about being such a versatile artist?
That music doesn't have any boundaries. I think each genre allows me to express a different part of myself, and this is actually one thing that I can take from a very good mentor that I have. And this specific day when he called me to perform in the West Coast, I asked him, "What would you like me to do? Which genre?" And he says to me, "Lauren, do you. Just do you."
Yeah.
And classical music that I was trained in taught me discipline, and it taught me technique. Jazz has really taught me the freedom, of doing different kinds of music, and that is why I call myself a versatile singer. Gospel really taught me about emotion and faith, and the contemporary music allowed me to tell stories that people can immediately relate to. So it really means a lot for me to be a versatile singer, because you don't get that a lot.
Great stuff, Lauren. So you've also performed at festivals, corporate events, and community celebrations around South Africa. What has performing in front of different audiences taught you about connecting with people?
You can walk onto a stage in front of hundreds and thousands of people, and sometimes the most powerful moment is when you look at one person and realize that a song has touched that person. It touched that person's heart, and it touched a nerve. So I've learned that you don't just perform to an audience. You have to connect with the crowd.
Yeah.
And that's probably one of the things that I treasure most. When I started singing and I was writing my bio way in the beginning, um, there's one line that I always added is that I love to sing to appreciative crowds. And I love them to listen to what I'm about to share with them and how I can connect with them. And I always say this, we have the most amazing talent. We have really the most amazing talent. And I always say to my friends in the industry, and always compliment in the industry, the sun shines on everyone. But you need to acknowledge, when there's really good talent. But people need to see beyond Loren. People need to see beyond that person on stage, and that opportunity to make somebody, when you do sing to those appreciative crowds, that person feels something and that person feels a connection.
Fantastic, Lauren. And you're known as the Pearl of Pal. What does that name mean to you personally, and how do you feel it represents who you are as an artist?
Wherever I go, I am proud to say that I am from Paul. I was born here. I went to school here. I got married here. My kids, I've got 2 boys, and I'm married for almost 28 years in March. So being called the Pearl of Paul is incredibly special to me because Paul is really my home. And a pearl is something beautiful that is formed through pressure and layers over time. And when I think about that, I actually feel that it represents my own journey beautifully, because I've had beautiful seasons, I've had difficult seasons, and that's just me being real. But through that, it was moments of growth and moments of pressure. But all of those experiences have shaped me in the person that I am today. So the Pearl of Paul isn't just a nickname. It's really part of my identity and my connection to the place where I come from. And that is why I'm so proud.
Awesome, Lauren. So, you often speak about your genuine love for people and your belief that music can unite, uplift, and inspire. Why is that message so important to you?
Because at the end of the day, people matter.
Yeah.
People matter to me. And I believe music can reach places that an ordinary conversation can't do. A song can give somebody courage. I always say this. I won't go on stage and speak and show my vulnerability, but I can sing. I will sing it to you, and it can remind someone that they're not alone.
Yeah.
It can make someone cry. It can make someone dance. It can make someone remember, or simply just breathe again. And I don't want to make music that people can hear. I want to make music that people can feel, and 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 that is important for me.
Fantastic, Lauren. So, you're also an entrepreneur and the founder of Chippo Productions. How did that how did that side of your journey develop, and what do you hope to achieve through it?
In 2017, I started Chipper Productions, and since then I've had many shows where I have given artists a platform. Because when I started this, I thought back to my own journey where I didn't get the platform, and where you had to work hard to just get a slot in front of a crowd. But I've always had a strong entrepreneurial side, and I love people, and I love creating experiences, and and I love bringing ideas together. So Chipo, that means gift, grew from that desire to really create meaningful experiences. And whether that's through events, entertainment, and just creating opportunities. So for me, entrepreneurship and music actually complement each other. Yes, if you have a talent to play guitar or drums or keyboard, for that matter. And in COVID, it was a huge challenge because many of our art, this is what we do on a daily basis. This is our bread and butter, being a full-time artist. But what is there other than that that you can do as an entrepreneur? And that is why I believe in doing something else. I teach it to my kids. If you are passionate about something and that passion that you have doesn't generate that income for you yet, work on something else and try to navigate both of that, and make it work.
Yeah.
Because the reality is this is, what we need to do. We need to generate income and work on your passion, and then you set yourself boundaries to navigate both of that, and it's important.
100%, that's absolutely correct, Lauren. So, do you see music simply as a career, or do you believe there's a bigger purpose behind the gift you've been given?
I said to someone the other day, God has given me this talent, and I don't want to. I don't want him to ask me one day, what did you do with the talent that I gave you?
True.
So I definitely believe that there's a bigger purpose. I believe that. And music is really my gift. I believe that with this gift, it becomes even more meaningful when you use it to give something back. I always say it's not always about receiving, it's about giving back. And if one song can give somebody hope, if one performance can make someone feel seen. I said yesterday to someone, nobody knows what goes behind the scenes to actually get on to that stage. The energy, the effort, the your makeup that you have to put on, your hair that you need to, make perfect, and all of that energy just to get on stage and to connect with that crowd, crowd. So I really do believe that when that person feel that they have connected with the person on stage, then my work is done. So success for me isn't, about how many people hear the music. It's about what happens in someone's heart after they heard it.
Yeah. Awesome, Lauren. Now, let's talk
So
about
yes,
your.
to answer your question, sorry.
No?
Yes, I do see music as a career. Yes, I definitely do, because there is definitely a bigger purpose in that.
Fantastic, Lauren. That's really awesome. So let's talk about your brand new single, "A Woman Unbroken." Lauren, this is a very powerful title. What does "A Woman Unbroken" mean to you?
It's about resilience. It doesn't mean that you've never been hurt, or it doesn't mean that you've never cried or fallen apart. It just means that despite everything you've been through, there is still something inside you that refuses to give up. A woman can be hurt, and not only just women. This song is for men as well, because we sometimes forget about the men in the process. So even though an individual have scars, or even if you have moments that you really feel completely broken, that doesn't mean your story is over.
Yeah. Great stuff, Lauren. So the song deals with pain, scars, healing and discovering strength again. Was there a particular moment or season in your own life that inspired you to write the song?
Oh, yes, indeed. When groups of women get together, we always say the following: life happen. And life happens to everyone. So this song came from a place of really understanding that life can change you. Life can change you. And that we all go through seasons where we experience disappointment and rejection. And I myself, even with being an artist, you do experience rejection and challenges that you've never expected that you would.
Yeah.
So sometimes you look back and realize that I didn't come through that season the same person I went into it, right? But that's not necessarily a bad thing.
Yeah.
Sometimes those difficult seasons reveal a strength in you that you didn't even know exist. So a woman unbroken came from that understanding that you can go through pain, but you can still find your power.
That's really awesome, Lauren. So there's a very powerful line in the song which says, "I have been shattered, but I've never been tamed." What does that statement mean to you?
That line is really powerful to me. And when LD Media, Lorenzo and myself wrote this song, it I could really relate to that, because being shattered means that I've experienced things that have hurt me. Um, I've had moments that have broken my heart and even tested my strength on a continuous basis. But being tamed would mean allowing those experiences to take away my spirit and my voice or my identity. But I refused. I refused to do that. And yes, I may have been knocked down, but I haven't been allowed. I haven't allowed life to define me by what had happened to me.
Great
So that is
stuff.
what this really means, to be shattered, but I've never been tamed. It's actually so beautiful.
Awesome, Lauren. That's really awesome. So, one of the key messages is that healing isn't necessarily about becoming the person you were before. You can actually discover who you were always meant to become. Why was that message important for you to include?
Um, I think sometimes we spend so much time trying to get back to who we were before something happened to us. And perhaps we're not supposed to go backwards. My husband always has this beautiful saying: you can't live life backwards, but you can understand what lies ahead, and trying to understand what lies ahead, and stop looking backwards. So perhaps the experiences is actually just helping us become someone stronger, wiser, and more authentic. And healing isn't always about becoming the old you again. It's sometimes healing is about discovering the woman you were always meant to be, right? And always meant to become.
Awesome, Lauren. That's really fantastic. Now, the song isn't only about your own story, it's really an anthem for women who have experienced difficult seasons and had to rebuild themselves. So, say there's a woman listening right now who feels like life has broken her. What would you want to say to her?
Um, don't confuse being hurt with being broken. What happened to you is part of your story. but it does not have to become your identity. So, so give yourself permission to heal. Give yourself permission to cry. Give yourself permission to start again. And most importantly, don't believe that because you're in a difficult chapter, your story is finished. You are still becoming.
Fantastic, Lauren. And so, what would you say to someone who looks at their scars as weaknesses rather than evidence of what they've survived?
No, absolutely. Your scars are not something that you need to hide. When you mentioned that now, I was looking. I was reminded about a scar that I have on my leg. I can hide it behind my jeans. I can hide it behind my skirt. But they are evidence that you survived something.
True.
And I'm so glad that you asked that. So every scar carries a story, because if I look at the physical that I have a scar, it actually reminds me of something that I don't need to do because it's on my leg. And don't do it again, Lauren. Come on. And
Yeah.
sometimes the very things that we think make us less beautiful are actually the things that make us stronger and more compassionate. So don't be ashamed of your scars. Wear them as a reminder. I went through it, but I'm still here.
Wow, that's really awesome, Lauren. And ultimately, what do you hope listeners feel when they finish listening to A Woman Unbroken?
Whoever is listening, hope. I want a woman listening, or men listening to the song alone in the car, or at home, or at work with your earphones on, or somewhere in the world, wherever anybody's listening to the song, and thinks, maybe I'm not finished. Maybe I can get back up. And really, I really do hope that men hear this too, because this is not, like I said, only a message for women. It's a message about the human spirit. You can be wounded and still have strength. You can be knocked down and still rise. You can carry scars and still be beautiful or handsome. And most importantly, you have been shattered, but you are not finished.
Wow, Lauren, I think there's something incredibly powerful about the message behind this song. The idea that being wounded doesn't mean you're defeated and that your past doesn't have to determine your future.
Absolutely.
Awesome, Lauren. Before we let you go, where can our listeners find A Woman Unbroken and also connect with you and your work?
A Woman Unbroken is currently on all major platforms: Apple, Deezer, YouTube, Spotify. And please go follow me. My Facebook page is Loren, Loren Pearl of Paul. It has got the same handle on Instagram, Loren_Pearl of Paul. And yeah, and I'm on TikTok as well. So thank you so much for making this possible, for playing my song. And if I can just say one last thing,
Sure.
please do believe in yourself. Know your worth. Um, and remember, you may have been through the fire, but you are not destroyed by it. You are becoming a woman unbroken. So let's make this our anthem.
Wow, Lauren, that's really awesome. And so Loren Erasmus, the Pearl of Pal, thank you so much for joining us on South Coast Radio. We really appreciate your time and we wish you every success with A Woman Unbroken and everything you're doing through Chupo Productions.
Thank you very much. Thank you so much. South Coast Radio.
No problem. You're most welcome. It's really great to have you with us on the show today, Loren. And to the listeners, that is, there you have it, Loren Erasmus with her powerful new single, A Woman Unbroken. Remember, your scars don't have to be the evidence of what defeated you, they can be the evidence of what you survived. So make sure to check out A Woman Unbroken on all major streaming platforms.
The radio station you can't live without. This is your radio.
This is South Coast Radio.